Good morning. How are we all doing this morning? How the devil are you? Me, I'd be lying if I'm being honest if I said I wasn't concerned about the economic outlook right about now. I received a report this morning that says that the number of companies in financial distress here in the UK has jumped by a staggering 37% in the second quarter of the year. It also says that more than 500,000 businesses, many of them already weakened by COVID-19 and the resulting lockdown, are also in financial distress. Personally speaking, while I'm encouraged by the continued growth of the Breakfast Show, my income from it is still not at the level that I would like, if I'm being completely frank. However, since I am a one-trick pony, and I'm probably a little bit too honest to be employed by a commercial publisher, I fear that I'm in for a rough ride in the months ahead. But on the upside, I guess we're all in the same boat together. When when this show began, I had no sponsors, no direction, and most importantly, no audience. Now it has all three, and more importantly, it's managed to build a community of like-minded individuals. We can all huddle together for warmth, and I think we'll be okay. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It's Friday, the 5th of August, and as that remarkably persistent guy just said, welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, as the UK braces for recession, we discuss how individuals within the demolition and construction industry should prepare themselves now and for the aftermath. We're off to Austria to check out some spectacular Komatsu mining equipment. There's a relic on the riverbank, and it isn't me. We're going to show you the latest word in wearable safety systems, and the road to Bauma leads to one of the likely stars of this year's show from the mighty Kobelco. And we'll get to all of that in just a second. But first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to Joseph Merrick, better known to the world as the Elephant Man, and to the first man on the moon, assuming you don't subscribe to the conspiracy theories, Neil Armstrong. Happy birthday also to dead or alive singer Pete Burns, to sadly deceased Beastie Boy MCA, and to Scottish rally driver Colin McRae. Many happy returns to them, one and all. The TV headlines last night and the newspaper headlines this morning tell a tale of the largest single rise in interest rates in 27 years. What those headlines do not necessarily say is that the Bank of England is forecasting that the UK will slip into recession towards the end of this year. Furthermore, it warns that the UK economy will continue to retract until the end of 2023. That would mark the biggest downturn since the 2008 financial crisis. Regardless of the specific causes, that means we're all set to get a whole lot worse off. And it's not as if we're rolling in cash right now. Now, for some of us, this will not be our first recession. And given the cyclical nature of the economy and of the construction sector's fortunes, it probably won't be the last either. However, this is the first time that any of us will have experienced a post-pandemic recession. And for some companies and individuals that were weakened during the recession or the lockdown, a recession right now might just prove terminal. Although it's difficult to envisage it right now, though, good always follows bad. Blue skies will replace the dark clouds eventually. And although now is not the time for rose-coloured spectacles or misplaced optimism, the construction sector of today displays an unprecedented level of resilience. In years gone by, you could rely upon construction to be the first into recession. But even though the inflationary siren has sounded months and months ago, the sector has stood firm. The BC Live League table of real-time construction contract awards recorded £5.7 billion in new work during the month of July, way above the £4 billion that has become the industry baseline. We're less than a month into the month of August, and the league table is almost at the £1 billion mark, and it's done so in a month that is notoriously slow. That league table is going to be a key indicator of industry sentiment in the weeks and months ahead, and we can only hope and pray that it doesn't decline to the £1 billion per month that it hit in the darkest days of the 2008 and 2009 recession. There will be knock-on effects, of course. Developers may now think twice about investing in new construction projects. That in turn will impact upon workloads in both demolition and construction, and it could impact upon equipment sales. Worst of all, it will impact upon wages and quite possibly on job security too. Now, I'm not an economist. Some might argue that I'm not a journalist or a broadcaster either, but I have been here before. I've been through multiple recessions. The clouds will part eventually. So if I could offer one piece of advice, it would be this: invest. Now, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but I'm not talking here about financial investment. I'm talking about investing in yourself. Continue to hone your skills, continue to learn, continue to develop and improve whatever it is that you do. Arm yourself with as much information as you can lay your hands upon. Because when the financial sun finally shines again, it will shine most brightly upon those with desirable and transferable skills. Now, when I think of big mines and big mining equipment, I generally think of Australia, North or South America, of Africa. I don't automatically think of Austria. Thankfully, therefore, I'm not in charge of selling Komatsu mining equipment, because I would have missed this opportunity entirely.
Eisenerz, Austria, 260 kilometers southwest of the capital Vienna. Here they move mountains. They literally do that with the Erzberg, a mountain where iron ore is mined. It's the largest and most modern mining area in Central Europe.
Also der längst abdienende Erzabbau weltweit, 1300 Jahre durchgehender Erzabbau.
Every day, another part of the mountain is blown up with explosives. The material is then transported day and night to the crushing plant on site, where the ore is separated. The residual material is then moved to the other side of the mountain, where a new mountain is created in this way. For more than 20 years, Komatsu has been the preferred partner of the Erzberg Mining Company.
Gestartet haben wir mit unserer mittlerweile ältesten Maschine hier, mit den BA800.
Komatsu wheel loaders load 100-ton dump trucks in 3 to 4 cycles. PC 1250 excavators engage their long arm, and the brand new intelligent D155 AXI dozer accurately spreads the residual material.
In den letzten 23 Jahren hatten wir in Summe 40 Komatsu Bergbaumaschinen bezogen, und wir hatten hier mit allen Maschinen bisher sehr, sehr gute Erfahrungen.
Production continuity is key for such a company. And as it has quite a few Komatsu machines, the local distributor provides a permanent mechanic on site to support the Erzberg team.
Ich bin Servicetechniker von Komatsu und bin hier als Unterstützung für das Serviceteam vom VR Erzberg. Ich bin hier jeden Tag, ich mache meine Schicht hier, gleich wie das Serviceteam von VR Erzberg, und probiere mit ihnen Probleme zu lösen.
Ein wesentlicher Punkt, damit wir entsprechende Partnerschaft mit Komatsu aufgebaut haben. Es war sehr wichtig, hier den entsprechenden Support zu bekommen, Service zu bekommen.
Das ist für den Kunden natürlich ein sehr großer Service. Er kann natürlich die Ressourcen von Komatsu und Kuhn verwenden und ist in der Produktion natürlich viel mehr herauszuholen.
That's exactly how we like to work with our customers at Komatsu. Close to each other, with short communication lines and result-oriented. We don't just try to listen to the needs of a particular customer, we try to bring solutions.
Wir haben auch an den Maschinen immer wieder Adaptierungen durchgeführt, gemeinsam in Absprache. Es waren sehr kurze Wege auch bis in das Werk nach Tokio und mit Komatsu Europe. Es war ein sehr rasches und interaktives Zusammenarbeiten.
We have every interest in making sure that things run smoothly for our customers. We look at a long-term customer relationship. The partnership here is a good example of that. We have accomplished a lot together over time.
Komatsu ist eigentlich für uns nicht nur die gelbe Farbe, die haben andere auch. Komatsu ist der Support, eigentlich für den Kunden entsprechende Lösungen zu bieten. Und wir hatten mit Komatsu die höchsten Produktivitäten und vor allem das Wesentliche ist, die Kosten je Betriebsstunde haben wir ein Optimum mit diesen Maschinen gefunden.
Quite literally moving mountains. I am the proud owner of an Apple Watch. See? My wife bought it for me a few years ago, and it has travelled the world with me. Well, you know, back when travelling the world was a thing. In addition to allowing me to answer the phone Captain Kirk style, control my iPhone camera, make payments and board aeroplanes, my watch monitors things like my heart rate and my exercise levels that aren't particularly high. So there is no question that wearable devices like this are potentially beneficial to our health. But my Apple Watch is merely the beginning.
Reactech are proud to bring you R-Link. With 20 years experience in preventing workplace health and safety issues, Reactech introduce R-Link, an incredibly powerful and versatile workplace wearable. R-Link protects workers from exposure to hand-arm vibration, accidents with heavy vehicles or equipment, alerts workers to exclusion zones, a need to evacuate, notify you if someone has fallen and needs help, to a worker's location during an incident. As pioneers in the management of hand-arm vibration, Reactech are experts in simple-to-deploy technology, which has seen over 140,000 workers protected. Gain real use insight of exposure and be proactively and securely informed of your highest risk employees and key risk drivers. Readily show compliance with recorded and evaluated control measures at the touch of a button. R-Link can also keep workers safe from straying too close to dangerous vehicles or equipment. Using the latest ultra-wideband technology for fast, accurate detection, alert workers to impending dangers. Employee alerts alone is not enough. Reactech Analytics provide intelligent insights on the who, where, and how often near misses occur, allowing you to prevent future problems. Need to ensure that employees stick to specific work areas dependent on their responsibilities. Use R-Link to create geo-fenced exclusion zones, which will respond to a worker's credentials. On a day-to-day basis, you can simply and easily control who can access different work areas. Do you ever have the need to evacuate employees? During an evacuation, you'll want to know that employees have responded and are mustered at their evacuation point. Track on the ground and from head office. Do you have employees working alone and isolated from colleagues? They don't need to be in a remote location to need help. R-Link allows employees to raise an alarm and will automatically raise an alarm in the event of a fall, followed by a lack of motion. R-Link. In one simple device, you can customize your workers' protection to suit their working environments, whether they be exposed to vibration, need to be mindful of hazards such as moving plant, restricted from accessing dangerous areas or activities, mustered to a safe location, located and tracked as lone workers. R-Link is your way of protecting your employees, while ReactTech's ecosystem and powerful analytics will ensure you can proactively prevent long-term health and well-being issues for your workforce in a productive and sustainable workplace.
Very impressive. Will there come a day when wearable devices are as commonplace as hard hats and high-vis vests? Love to get your thoughts out. We've already had a couple of your thoughts, actually. Ken Hatcher, good question. Why don't they make an app for the Apple Watch? My guess is that the Apple Watch is probably way more expensive. I mean, I think the base level Apple Watch these days is about 400 quid. I would imagine that one is a little more cost effective, but I don't know. R-Link could be a good sponsor for the show. Gary, I plan to reach out to them early next week, just as soon as I get back in the office. Let's have a look. Looks like a great wearable device, but what about privacy? It's a fine line always with these things, but casting my mind back to the aftermath of the Didcot disaster, there were several hours when there was some confusion about whether the three guys that were known to be missing were in fact missing, feared injured or feared dead, or whether they were actually off-site, and there was no way of confirming. Obviously, they'd signed in and they'd signed back out again, and that kind of thing. But I think a wearable device and that idea of linking it to a muster point, I think there's a lot to be said for that. Keep talking. Love to get your thoughts on everything about wearable safety devices.
The Miller GT series heralds a new era of unrivaled power and cutting-edge intelligent coupler technology, increasing job site safety, machine versatility, and productivity. It's the added versatility that you need at the value you can afford. To find out more, visit millergroundbreaking.com.
Under normal circumstances, if there is an interesting old relic by a riverbank, it's usually me. But not this time. Right, we've seen the old, now it's time for the new. got to be honest, I've already drawn up a list of the equipment that I'm going to see at Bauma 2022. And that machine is in my top two. Many thanks to our friend Peter over at Kobelco Europe for allowing us to share that film with you. Apparently, there is actually a European film of the SK1300 currently being edited. I will be watching the Kobelco YouTube channel like the proverbial hawk, and I'll do my best to bring that to you as soon as I can. Excuse me, just going to throw up that point there. Definitely seen more Kobelcos last couple of years. They seem to be doing well with sales. Yes, absolutely. They are doing very nicely with sales. I certainly see more of them about on UK demolition sites. Fully understandable. Awesome machine. And as Al Grierson has said, Al, I think you and I will be forming an orderly queue at the Kobelco stand to get a first look at that absolutely fantastic piece of kit. Now, back to our scheduled programming. Today's show is almost over, but first, demolition contractors within easy reach of East London and those with a great deal of sensitivity, lend me your ears because this one is for you. $11 million of your finest English quids have been set aside for the construction of 79 new residential dwellings at 7 to 11 Barking Road. Access Building Contractors has been given the green light for the construction portion of the works that also requires the retention of several houses and retail outlets in the neighbouring Green Street. More importantly, however, the project is right beside a Grade 2 listed building, namely the Bowling Tavern pub. Now, for the uninitiated, the Bowling Tavern was the meeting place for West Ham fans on their way to the old bowling ground that was just around the corner. Well, it was until Rye Demolition took it down. As you all know, I am a West Ham fan. As far as I'm concerned, any demolition taking place around there will be taking place on hallowed ground. Anyway, at the time of broadcast, a suitable demolition contractor has yet to be appointed. So you can find out more about this project leading countless more just like it over at buildersconference.co.uk. Alternatively, you can speak directly to Siobhan Jones using the number displayed at the foot of your screen. She is standing by to take your call. And whoever gets the gig, please treat the Bowling Tavern with the respect that she so richly deserves.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning show. Also wraps up the week as well. There will be a Saturday social tomorrow. There's also a weekend wrap that will drop on your computer or your mobile device at some ungodly hour in the morning. But before then, I'm going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around, then please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, and thank you for watching. But if you have either the time or the inclination, I'll see you on the other side of this.